Hi, good morning. I promised you guys a part 2 on the garden tour, and so I'll try to make this one faster. So let's get right at it, okay? So you probably saw the earlier videos, many of you have, of me putting in, this is the house garden. And so I'll just kind of let you know row by row. In this first row here, we have Aunt Molly's ground cherries. You can see some open gaps. There was even gaps down here where things were planted, and the leaves have been gnawed quite a bit. So some have been replanted. What I'm doing is I have about a half dozen Aunt Molly's ground cherries in cups that I'm just leaving in cups until they get really big, and then I'm going to put them back in. And the rest all went to a sale, and I'm a plant sale for a church community garden, and I'm very happy that Gardens of Discovery made quite a bit in order to put in their irrigation system next. So in the front here I have San Marzanos, and they are doing fabulous. They're almost to bloom stage, I believe. Yep, there's the first blooms right there. So moving along quickly, I have Alma paprika peppers in this section, and again, leaves have been chewed on heavily. Don't like that, but that is what it is. And then I have just regular bell peppers in here, and look, there's only 2 that have survived being back here. So no, 3. I can see that now. I'm not happy with that at all. So I don't know. They're definitely getting shaded out now in the worst way, and it might be, my other suspicion is that the irrigation line is not dripping enough this way. So at this point, I was thinking of just running another irrigation line here just separately for the peppers, or separating the 2 of those, something like that, troubleshooting that. But then I got to thinking, they're so much smaller now than the tomatoes on the front side where the sun comes in from this direction. I thought I'm just going to give up, and I'm going to put them over here where these zucchinis got chewed up too, but there's plenty of holes. So I'm going to put my bell peppers on the outside, and they have wonderful irrigation off of this big tube. So, and the same thing kind of happened over here. I had a lot of chewing on. This is I believe it was a Market More cucumber. I had 3 going really well. Pardon me. And these got eaten. This one's almost to the trellis. So it's really probably not going to produce much at all, but I'll let it live. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sad about that. But I'll put some peppers in down here. I had eggplants in a couple places. Oh, there's a San Marzano. This is a leftover that just couldn't fit in the space behind me. Black Beauty eggplants, they are getting chewed so badly. And I would put some DE on them to make it yucky to eat. However, this is more damage. A lot of bug pressure. However, anyhow, we keep getting rain, so everything's going to get chewed on. This is a little cayenne pepper. It's struggling, but alive. Here are some Waltham butternut squash. I just have 2 in the area, and they're coming across the ground cover, and I like that idea, but then I thought, oh, that could be a really bad idea. So I was rethinking a potentially poor choice there, and I went ahead, and this one's quite long. I went ahead and strung this one up, and it can just travel all the way around the whole trellis and perhaps bring in bees. But it's starting its blooms down there, so that's cool. And then across the rest of the front of row 3 is big beef tomatoes. So it took me a while. Big beef, I hope I got that. Yeah, beef for beefsteak, that's right. So they're a hybrid beefsteak variety, and I already know they grow fabulous around here because they was it 2 winters ago or 1 winter ago, they were in the back section here, each plant put on a good 17 to 19 tomatoes. I mean, just heavy, heavy, heavy producer. And then I have 2 little cayennes. These are gifts from my neighbor, and we're starting to see some peppers already. On the back row of this is a whole entire row, and look, they're doing fabulous with jet stars. Looking so good. These, see blooms. Yay! And I've had to start staking them up on the trellis, pinning them up, because all the rain, man, was knocking them over. So as fast as I could. This is the mortgage lifter. Look at that. That bloom won't make it. But we're going to finally start trending back down around the 70-degree mark and then lower. So the future blooms should probably set fruit on this mortgage lifter. And that one I bought already pre-grown. This is the mortgage lifter. So that must be the German stripe. Pardon me. So this is the mortgage lifter. And man, is it taken off. It's really almost doubled in height or so. Just in what, the week, 2 weeks that I've had it here. Everything's kind of doubled. I think it's all hitting that blood meal that we put in there. And then this is a pear yellow tomato, or yellow pear, either way. So the blooms are just, well, I guess everything's going to go to bloom. That's wonderful. This, I don't have a tag. I had some corbachis on the back side, so it's either a corbachi or could potentially be an Alma paprika. But I'm going to guess it's corbachi. Something wiped out those corbachis really fast, and I do have more corbachis that can be transplanted now. And then on both sides of 5 and 6 of this row, I have what I'm just calling it a South Florida, you know, a big, probably a 10 to 12 ounce type of tomato. And it came from, it just seeds out of a huge, massive tomato on a commercial farm. And I had a whole case of them. We had a lot of rotten seeds, so my husband saved back those seeds. Not rotten seeds, we had rotten tomatoes, pardon me, while we were doing all the canning, so we just saved those seeds. And as you can see, they're doing as well as anything else. I really love them. I can't wait to see. This is so promising for me to have so many great rows, and really I didn't have that much devastation from, I think we're doing a good job of keeping the rats under control, so yay. Here we have a drip line that throws a lot of water, and I put Groninger Brussels in here. Now a lot have gotten chewed, you can see. This is a nutgrass weed, but you know, some of them are coming back from being chewed, and then some of them are good. And then I think I just got to refill this whole line, so I have plenty to do that with. But it is what it is. It's early. You really, for cold weather pests, you know, the pests are really bad while it's still warm. And then I have 2 empty lines here. This one flows really well. This one I think I have a plug issue, a plugged section. So I got to tinker with this just a little bit longer. And I think that I have finalized my decision that I will put broccoli here. Or at least the purple broccoli. Give it a little color and pop out here. And you guys have seen that I have 2 pineapples back here. But then while I was playing around with my irrigation and getting my hands all cut up by the pineapple, I found this guy. Before, he was hardly even popping up like he is now. And I was so ecstatic. So anyhow, do you see this line? That's the line I was working on. And at some point I'll bury it, but it comes across here. And so I do 1 nozzle turn, and it feeds the cabbage patch, the soon-to-be cabbage patch, and the tomato garden at one time. So I'm really happy about that. You've seen all this. You saw all this in the first part. Look, you can see the loofahs are all open now during the day. Isn't that awesome? And you'll also get to see, I'm going to show it to you now because the other night the blooms had closed up, but look, this is the buttercup squash. I still always want to say mystery pumpkin, but it's now have a name, has a name. So those blooms are just gorgeous, usually loaded with bees. I just saw some fly out of there. Okay, let's go to the front and get those last two gardens in. Do you see this? The squirrel, and I've seen the squirrel, is eating my roselle, and then he sits right up here on the fence, chews them, spits out what he doesn't want. So I need to go pick roselle today, like as many as I can, to curb that behavior. This is a wonderful Napa Chardonnay cherry. No, I'm wrong. This is probably the Blue Creams Berry Cherry Tomato. That's right, because the Napa was down there last spring, and so I think some tomatoes fell off of this. Oh, did you see that? There was a moth in there. So this is probably the volunteer from that, and I have itty bitty tomatoes already starting to come in. So I'm real happy. I just pinned it back up. It was kind of low on the ground. I have a little bit of zinnias there. I do have a dahlia, an orange dahlia that's never bloomed yet there. I had a pink dahlia, bloomed once in the spring, died, came back in late summer, a little too soon perhaps with all the sun and the rain, bloomed one more time and died again. So go figure, that one's done. Oh, and not to ignore, this is a Florida pepper plant. It is not a Tabasco plant. It does not get higher than this, and it just stays loaded year-round with fruit. And this is a Brazilian flaming candle, and that's just the ornamental, and I need to pick up that little piece off the ground. But as you can see, we are at solid 100% ground cover at this point. Finally got the pins to finish all that. I do have some holes ready up here. That was where watermelon was, but we are going to replace it, I think, with some, just a couple squash and zucchini up this way. That's the plan for now. I am still thinking of putting a center section of beans, and then down here, or perhaps the center section of onions. I think maybe that's better because onions aren't really sun dependent. And then I'll put the beans on the outer bit. I have so many beans left to go. And then right along the fence, I'll walk just a little bit closer, I still have my little flower strip. So it's not as wide as it was, and today I went ahead and selected some seeds to put in there. So I have a double click bicolor pink cosmos, I have a rubenza cosmos, and then I have a Chaude La France dianthus. All those came from Johnny Seeds Company. So for right now, I'm just getting rid of all the weeds. This point, this half has already been covered for a good month. This part needs to be covered till at least November 9th or so, when the onions arrive. It's somewhere in here. The beans I will probably start in a week or so. In the south garden, you can see it's a hot mess. So I went ahead, this is one of the reasons why I'm re-videoing it, because I wanted you to at least see the sections. It is filled with weeds since planting it. I have the first two rows are the Henderson Lima beans. One was a transplant row and the other one was a direct sow. Lost a lot of those. There is so much bug pressure. There's army caterpillar or worms in there on the leaves, like turning the leaves over. Then I have 4 different varieties of lettuce in here, and I will just put up on the screen the little bits of lettuce pictures that I was able to find. The rest needs to be hand weeded. Yes, I'm gonna have to hand weed this whole area out because it is just so minute. There are so many babies in there mixed in with weeds. Then I have my cal section. There is at least 3 or 4 cals in this group. And let's see, we have the red ursa, we have the blue curled scotch. I have a scarlet kale, and I think in one of these beds, I think the Nero de Toscana is on this side. The dinosaur, or Licanto, is that how you say it? Kale? I think it's got different names, is over on this side somewhere. Then I have in here, I have Hercules carrots through half of this, and I didn't want to use all my carrots for that because I figured it was early. And then I had some older seed châtenay, and then I had Easter egg radishes and some other radishes. And over here, and like again, I will put pictures up of those examples because you're not going to be able to see them here unless I get you dizzy going back and forth, back and forth. Here I have cilantro in this section, and in the mid section I have a little bit of fennel coming up. And then back here you can see the French breakfast radishes, and I don't remember what's on the right side. I think that's the dinosaur kale. And then in the far back you'll see there's a little yellow Swiss chard, and then there is the giant red Japanese mustard. So, and that actually is coming along okay because it doesn't mind heat. Oh, there's Buddy. And that's the sweet potato bed. The Mexican sage is right behind it. I do have a little bit, I had like a volunteer red Norland potato in there too. And then this is my fall scene still here. I've got to replace the lights on the right side. Oh, the rain is doing so much damage. That is one of my jobs, not for right now. I got other stuff to do, but I've got to take all this string of lights down that's on the outside of here because I have 3 or 4 sections of lights just out. And I'm starting to look like a haunted house instead of a thing of beauty. I also put in flowers on the south garden. I seeded seeds today. I have the king size apricot aster, and I have the fizzy white cosmos. And then on both sides, I don't know that this will work out, but I have a little bit of chocolate cherry sunflowers on each side, just teeny tiny bit intermixed there. So we'll see what pops up. It was just lightly done. And hopefully I'll get a little show of flowers around the borders of the fence. We do have my Eureka pink lemon variegated plant. It only has one surviving after all the storms we had this summer, and it's grown a little bit. Mostly that's okay if it's working on its root system. So maybe we'll have just a little bit of blooms this coming spring. This is my Key West key lime pie. I got pie in the brain. Tree or bush, really bush. And I'm just seeing this. I don't know. Ooh, I'm gonna have to address that. Potentially spray for something, or think about what I got to do with that. Research that. These are my Meyer lemons, a second one, because I do have a branch on the other, but we went ahead and bought a bush too, and it was real heavy with little lemons on it. But I mean, you can see it's just like a foot square. So we have 4 remaining lemons on it. That should be turning pretty soon, and then everything's going to get really cleaned up through the next month or 2 and get fertilized and mulched around there, and you know, hopefully we'll see some good growth by the time the days start going longer again. Before I let you go, some squirrel or whatever got through here, decided to wipe out a bunch of my purple sprouting broccoli. It's okay, I had more than I needed, but that's what happened. I'm getting really good germination on these green squash, and it looks like they went through some of these too. The green squash looks really good. The yellow squash is doing good. See, that one's just barely hanging on there. The roots are exposed. Ugh. Doggone squirrels. Oh, look. Man down. But I do want to show you something while we're in here. Still waiting for things to germinate. It's coming along slowly but surely. But here's the Waltham butternut squash. And then I have, this is bouquet dill this year. Sometimes I grow the mammoth dill, but this is bouquet and it germinated really nicely. And this is the Brussels that I'm got for reseeding. And oh, I think I showed you this on the last video, but the Aunt Molly's ground cherries are starting to bloom. And then I separated all my pots out, which was great, except for this one who I didn't have an extra pot sitting around, so this large pot got two. And you know, just hoping they make the transplant. I just did that yesterday. And lots of peppers, different cabbages, cauliflowers, let's see, Brussels, broccoli, snowball cauliflower. There's some more of the Aunt Molly's ground cherries. Oh, you guys got drenched, didn't you? This is red Sal's lettuce. So if that's red Sal's, what is this one? I thought, oh, super red romaine is what this one is. So I haven't eaten that, but that's ready to start picking now. And a dead on cabbage. And celery takes, don't be afraid, it takes like 3 weeks to a month for this to germinate. And the borage, I don't understand why it's not coming up. I've never had borage come up out of that seed packet, and I'm wondering if I just had some bad seeds. You know, it's sad because you guys probably hear me say that a lot. I have mislabeled seeds. I get a mislabeled, you know, one seed out of a whole pack. You get no seeds, low germination, and I don't go back and I don't complain. I might tell Johnny's just to, not as a complaint, but I may tell them just so they know, because they might want to see the lot number on that and just do some research of their own. But you know, it happens. It just is what it is. It happens to me, even with doing my best to keep track of stuff. I'm walking over here because I want to show you. All those San Marzanos have this typical tomato leaf. And then look at the very last second to last on this row. This leaf is very atypical for all the other leaves that I have going on down the row. I think this is a mislabeled, I mean, not when they clean off the table, a seed from the variety before got mixed in with the San Marzano pack. So it happens more frequent than new people know about, and you just go with it. And sometimes it's fun surprise and they grow great, and you go, holy cow, I'm growing that next year, gonna research it and grow it. And then sometimes you go, oh well, you know, I lost one, took one for the team. So if that happens to you, don't be discouraged. Just kind of go with the flow and enjoy it, you know, because you got something new, something different to learn and grow from. So anyhow, thank you so much for staying with me through part 2. I hope it wasn't too long by the time I edit it. So take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.